So I completely understand people's fear that the case might get thrown out and why they're saying that it's likely. But is it? Let's take a look at the numbers.
Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice, baked chicken with the skin on, yeah, Lowry's with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
What's good, Descendants? It's your boy Dre, and welcome to my channel, Keep It 100 Dre. So, Derek Chauvin's defense tried to get the case against him thrown out because he claims the jury was not properly sequestered and because he requested to have the trial moved to another state and that request was not granted. So I first want to say that this isn't new information whatsoever. The lawyer, the day prior to Derek Chauvin being convicted, tried to get the case thrown out in the first place based on those arguments. And of course, as we all know, that was unsuccessful. So this is something that defense lawyers try to do all the time. That's essentially standard operating procedure. So a lot of people are seeing this image of one of the jurors at a Black Lives Matter protest, and they're understandably freaked out because they believe now it's highly likely that the case can be thrown out. So I completely understand people's fear that the case might get thrown out and why they're saying that it's likely. But is it? Let's take a look at the numbers. So first, we have to look at the factors involved in this case and understand the odds of it actually being thrown out. So the first factor we have to look at is the case was decided by a jury as opposed to a bench trial where the judge decides the fate of the person that is charged with the crime. The second factor we have to look at is the defense is making the argument that the case should be thrown out based on the fact that the trial was unfair. So now, based on those two factors, we have to look at cases with similar circumstances to determine the odds of this case actually being thrown out. So from January 1st, 2000 to May 31st, 2013, there were 1,985 such appeals in which the defense tried to argue that the trial was unfair. Of those cases, just 3.78% of those appeals were successful. That's 75 total cases of 1,985 possible cases. Now, that's just the average, and these numbers can vary wildly from year to year on any given year. The low of any year was in 2013 at just 1.51% of cases being overturned. The high was 6.75%, and that happened two times, in 2005 and in 2012. So what other factors are at play here that could possibly influence those results? So the obvious one would be the judge that's hearing the case. So it will highly depend on the judge hearing the case, and it can drastically increase the odds of the case being overturned. Of judges hearing at least 50 cases, the highest rate of which cases was overturned under these circumstances was 8.8%. The lowest was 0%. So at best, if Chauvin got all of the most favorable circumstances possible, there's a 91.2% chance his conviction will remain. So what other factors could possibly influence the outcome of the appeal? Some may look at the fact that Derek Chauvin was a former cop, and quite often cops are not held accountable for their actions. In fact, it's extremely rare for an on-duty cop to be convicted of murder in the first place. So they may think that plays some role in the decision. The issue here is cops are so rarely convicted of murder while they're on duty, there's simply not enough data to come to that conclusion. What we can do is look at an appeal that was very similar to the appeal that Derek Chauvin's defense team will be making. And that is the appeal of Michael Slager, the police officer who killed Walter Scott. He tried to get his case tossed on very similar circumstances, arguing that the trial was unfair. And on April 21st, the day after Derek Chauvin was convicted of murder, the judge denied his appeals and he will be serving his sentence. The law states everyone is entitled to a fair trial, but not a perfect trial. So while Derek Chauvin's trial was certainly not perfect, it most definitely seems like it was a fair trial. The burden of proof to prove the trial was unfair would be on the defense team. And unless one of the jurors come out and say, I was influenced by these outside noises, it's highly unlikely that Derek Chauvin's appeal will be successful. It's certainly possible that the appeal can be successful, but not probable whatsoever. So that's all I gotta say for this video. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future. But I gotta leave you with one more thing before the video is over, and that's the word of the day. The word of the day for today is improbable. Improbable is spelled I-M-P-R-O-B-A-B-L-E. The definition of improbable is not likely to be true or to happen. Now I will attempt to use improbable in a sentence. It is highly improbable that Derek Chauvin's appeal to get his case overturned will be successful. Hopefully I use that in the sentence correctly. So again, if you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future, because YouTube will not show you my videos if you do not do so. And use improbable in the comment section below in the sentence so I know you watch the video to the end. Again, I really appreciate you watching my videos. 100%. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.